Howdy, 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 and welcome to another very special episode of the Dirt Info Podcast. This time, Carter's back, and that while that's special in and of itself, I think the more notable accomplishment is this is episode 52. So we're calling it a year. I know we've skipped some weeks here and there, but we're saying this is a 1 year anniversary. We've been doing this for a year, Carter. Can you believe
No, I can't believe it,
it?
actually. And I'm not even out a year because I missed a couple. I'm at like 48, week 48.
Well, you contributed questions or one for the roads to all of the episodes you missed, so I'm counting you in on all of them.
I'm a
So you can't
contributor.
get out of it that yeah. Well, as some of our listeners would say, you carry the show. So I'm sure some people are glad you're back. Uh, but no, I can't believe it. And there, at one point in time, it definitely didn't feel like a year was ever going to be possible. We nearly crashed out at like episode 12 or something. So had to rework, reformat, and get back to the grind. But anyway, I think that's kind of cool. I've absolutely enjoyed it. I assume you have. You keep coming back.
That's because you're paying me so well. I keep coming back.
I better talk to Sherry because I don't know anything about this.
Good money
But
being here.
anyway, yeah, wow. Can I get some then? Anyway.
You pay me eventually. It's like some other folks. I'll get it eventually. I'll see it.
Yeah, once the next big one comes through.
Our next big episode, I'll be getting a
Yeah,
big paycheck.
yeah, yep. Possibly I might be waiting on some insurance money. I'm not sure, hopefully. But anyway, well, we've had fun with it enough, but it is cool that we've been doing this for a whole year. I'm very grateful that we felt compelled to keep doing it and that we slowly keep growing an audience. So anyway, with that, let's jump into our first segment and
It's called Stylin and Profile.
thanks, Rick. I somehow get worse at that introduction, not better over time. And I don't know how that's possible. You look ready to go. So fire away, buddy.
Yeah, so this shirt, I don't actually like this shirt at all, but it was from Vegas and I needed to get the event shirt. The reason I don't like it, I like the design. It's on the front. Why? I hate designs on the front, but the one where it was on the back was sold out. So, and then they have this on the back, which this should be on the front. Um,
So did you get like a misprint discount or
no,
something?
that's
Because
no
that's
like so they had like a few different ones and like the one where it wasn't this design on the back on the other one, but it was like still an event shirt, but they were sold out of those by Thursday because they open the merch trailer up like Tuesday or Monday because everyone for an asphalt race shows up 4 days early. Um,
yeah, I got to practice.
so I got this one and yeah, but I needed the event shirt. I'll wear it sometimes, but it ain't gonna get worn too often. But I needed to get one because I don't know. Who knows? Might never go back. I don't know what'll happen. So
True. I mean, alternatively, you just gently rip the tag out or snip it out and just wear it backwards. I mean, that's
yeah,
an
it's just
option.
the collar part. It's like slightly lower, so it can look weird, but. And the
Yeah,
the
I
little logo
mean,
is like here on the back. It's like right here instead of here. So it would look kind of goofy.
possibly. Or like an Iron Man badge. Either or. Depends on how you want to view it. But
And since I missed a week, we're gonna do two. This was from
ooh.
Mohave. Uh, here's the front, and this one's designed correctly. Here's the back. You got it. There you go.
Oh, I
That's
like
just
it.
like the track shirt. I wasn't a huge fan of the event shirts, but they had like new track ones too, and I was like, oh, that'll work. Because the event ones didn't have a race car on it. It just had like a cowboy kind of looking thing, and I didn't want that.
Okay. You need a race car if you're getting a racing shirt. Although you just
No, I thought that I needed. It's if it's not gonna have a race car, like I don't want it to just. It's like a big advertisement. Like some the one at the event kind of looked like like it wasn't just like a logo.
it felt like a walking billboard a little bit. Fair enough. Fair enough. Well, I am going to I've already done this shirt. This is one of my crudies, the Jake Tim ones, but I'm gonna do the hat. So this is Caden Blazer hat. Let's take it off. You guys can see my balding head for a moment. But anyway, so this is Caden Blazer hat. I picked this one up very recently at where was I? Oh, I look like a buffoon.
Probably
I
Ogilvy, right?
yeah, I picked it up at the Topless Nats. Or Topless Nationals. Um, but the reason, well, one, I just like it. It's like actually a really slick hat, but it's kind of cool in the sense that at least at the Joe Provo trailer where I bought it, I got the very last one. So
Oh,
kind of, yeah. So it might be the last one that was sold. So um, I was glad I picked it up, and he has a couple different designs, so it wasn't like the very last one, but it was the
oh,
very
this
last
last
one
one
with
like that.
this design. Yeah. So and if you know, viewers of the show may have noticed I wear a lot of blue, so this one goes real good with that. But anyway, um, other than that, so you've been gone. So you've been gone for 2 weeks. So that means you've got a whole bunch to catch
It
us
was
up on.
not. It was like 10 days. It was not. It was 2.5 or 1.5 weeks.
Well, it's 1 week of podcast time, but like as things elapse, it's basically 2 full weeks since we've heard from you. So
Yeah. So I was in. I left Thursday, or the day after the podcast came out that I was last in.
yeah.
Um, Flew into Vegas, and then it was like straight to the track. Well, actually, no, we got some food first, and then it was straight to the
Quick
track.
question. First time you've flown to go film a race?
Yeah, first time I flew alone. I've flown before, but never alone. It wasn't as hard as I thought it was going to be. It was just kind of follow the signs and you figured it out where to go.
Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah, so I got to Vegas. I don't know what time I got there. I left at like 6 or flew out of there at 6 a.m. out of Wisconsin. Um, but then yeah, I was straight to the track for practice night. And I was pretty much just following the pit reporter, and the pit reporter was Drake York from USAC, so that was kind of cool. Um, so I was with him just like all Thursday, walking through the pits and then getting interviews and stuff to put on the broadcast. And then you can cut me off if you have any questions, by the way.
Well, this
And
I
then,
can't recall if you said, you probably did, and I just missed it. But this was the open wheel showdown
yep,
at
open
the
wheel showdown, 50,000 to win for asphalt sprint cars. And
yeah.
then on Friday, there actually wasn't much racing. Friday, it was like 12 heat races, and then what else did they have? Like a dash and like a B main. That was it. Like the other classes, like the support divisions, didn't have any
Oh, there we
heats
go.
or anything. They just had qualifying. That's all they did. They just qualified like asphalt. So so that kind of short made Friday shorter, but then Saturday
Yeah.
was super long. Because then like we had, I don't know, it was like they started like 2 Saturday and it was like 10:30 when they got done, which I could have done without that. It was some of the extra classes didn't help, but I don't know. It was all right. I was
Who
getting
won?
paid either way. Who did win? Oh, Cody Swanson won.
Nice.
And then Kyle Busch was there in a legend car. He did not win though.
He did not win. How'd they race?
It actually wasn't bad. I'm not a huge asphalt fan, but there was actually pretty good. The mods, or not the mods, the super mods and the sprint
Oh
cars were the
yeah, yeah.
best there. Yeah, the super,
Oh
that was
yeah.
the first time I've ever seen super mods. And the guy, I can't remember who won that. Oh, Kevin Newton, the guy that owns it, like Honest Abe. I think he's like the Honest Abe
Yeah,
roof. I think that's
yeah.
he won that. He won.
Wow.
So that there was a dirt guy that won. I was like, oh, that's kind of cool. Um, but no, I forgot. Oh, the supermods, the guy who was leading that, there was like an orange car that was by far the fastest car. Like he was flying, like no one was going to beat him. But he got wrecked by a lap car during the feature. So then it actually made the race kind of interesting because that guy would have won by a mile if that didn't happen.
So unfortunate for him, fortunate
Yeah,
for the race.
for the
Yeah.
race it was good, but for him it was not good because he was gonna win that no problem. But yeah, those cars are interesting. Like they all look different. They're not the same. Like they don't have body rule like they might have something, but it's a kind of loose body rule. You can kind of do what you want. And even the wings are different on some of them. Like they don't have all the same wings. So yeah, those were cool to see.
Heck yeah. And so then from there you went to the duel at Mohave.
Yeah, well, so they got done Saturday, and then Sunday and Monday we were just in Vegas at a hotel, hanging
Oh
out
yeah.
for 2 days. We saw an NHL game. That was my first NHL game. It was the
Ooh.
Golden Knights, I think that's what Vegas, and then the Panthers, Florida Panthers. The Panthers won. It was actually pretty close. I thought they were going to go into overtime, but they did not. So, but it was a pretty close game. Not like football. I still prefer football, but it was cool. And it was actually one of the cheapest things we did in Vegas. Like, it was only like $46 for a ticket. That's like two drinks in Vegas is $46. It seemed like so.
Yeah, yeah. So that was your first hockey game?
NHL one. I've been to like other
NHL.
hockey games, but yeah,
Okay.
NHL game. It was the first.
Yeah. Yeah. I think so this probably predates you, but hockey for me was revolutionized when I was a kid. They introduced this thing where the puck would glow when it would move around the
Oh,
screen, and so you always knew where it was. I thought it was the greatest thing ever. Apparently, everyone else said it ruined hockey, but the only part that ruined hockey about it is when they got rid of it. Now it makes hockey way harder to watch because, like, I don't know where the puck is. I'm just used to following the little laser beam around, and then I knew exactly where the puck was. And apparently, I was stupid, but
I
what
was
do I know?
concerned because we were like pretty high up because we were cheap and got the nosebleed seats, and I was concerned it was gonna be hard to see the puck, but it actually wasn't too bad. The only time you kind of lost it if they like slap shotted it or whatever, and it went 50 miles per hour flying away.
Now
Probably
imagine if
faster
you had
than
a
that.
blue streak behind you.
Yeah,
You would have totally seen it the whole way.
and then when it would be against the wall, like closest to us, because it was like behind the wall, you couldn't see it.
Yeah, angles and stuff.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but other than that, it was pretty easy to keep track of it. So that was kind of cool. Then it was funny. So like at like football games, if somebody scores, they're like the announcer there, not on TV, but like there's like touchdown, and then they'll say like the player's name or whatever. At hockey, they get a goal, and then like 5 minutes later, as they're already on to like playing on again, just the middle of them playing, the guy's like, "Goal, this guy," and it's like took you 5 minutes to figure out who scored the goal. Like, what were you? I don't know why it's so late. It was
Yeah.
really weird.
Let room for the stadium to breathe. Get
Like,
everything
'cause
sorted, and then you come in
they
afterwards.
did like they like celebrate like they had smoke shoot up and stuff when the goal happened, but then they didn't say
Yeah.
who did it until like 5 minutes after. I thought it was really strange that they would do it.
Yeah. Let everyone calm down and get back to thinking straight, you know?
I guess I don't know. I feel like it'd be more hype if the guy yelled it as it happened and then said who it was and stuff.
Well, did they have a big horn too?
They had
Most places
something,
have a
yeah. They
horn.
had
Yeah,
something up
yeah.
there.
You're not gonna hear the guy over the horn. It's just this big bang.
Well, you could have done it like 10 seconds after, not it was like a few minutes after when they were doing it.
Yeah, they usually do wait till after the face off the few times I've been to an NHL game, but uh, and then
Well,
did you
go ahead.
I was curious, did you gamble at all?
Yeah, $25. I lost it all.
Yeah,
All
not even
gone.
one winning spin, one
No, well,
winning spin
no,
at
it
least.
wasn't even slots. It was I was dumb. So we were at a bar and like they have like these little screens in front of you to like gamble. And I did blackjack on a electric thing, so it's probably so rigged, like no chance to even win it. Because I'd get like 19 or 20 and then 21 every time they'd get. I was like, okay, well,
Okay,
that was good use of my $20. And then I put five more in there for roulette, and then I lost that too.
okay. Well, at least you tried. I mean, you can't win big if you don't gamble. So at least you threw a little bit in. It wasn't the whole paycheck like I feared, so that's good.
Well, my Austin, who I was with, he won 50 cents playing some game. I don't remember what it was called. Some game I never heard of. He won 50 cents.
Nice.
So
They
we
let him leave with it in his pocket
no,
too.
it was he he got put in 20, won 50 cents, and you get like a ticket and you can like cash it or whatever. And he just
Yeah.
left it there. He was like, someone else can have my 50 cents. I don't even care.
It didn't even leave a winner.
No. And then
At least he didn't leave a loser though.
after the
So,
hockey game too, we did go to Top Golf. That was my first time there. I could not hit a golf ball like how you're supposed to hit it when you're normally golfing, so I hit it like mini golf the whole time. I just like power hit
oh,
mini golf. I won every time. It worked. It's a winning strategy because you just
so like,
guaranteed to get it in the middle thing, like the middle area, like the green.
okay. Oh, so you're playing like some mini game and is
Yeah,
set
because
up
like
nearby.
because you could just like smoke it way to the other end. And like if you got it in the whole thing down there, like you got a bunch of points, but you had to be like somewhat accurate. And they could get it down there. I could not get even close to there. So I would just like mini golf hit it and it would roll far enough and it would go in like the big green circle and then just consistently get that every single time. And so I was always getting points.
So what club were you swinging like a putter? Now
The
I'm just
driver.
confused. How?
I have
I
no
mean, I
idea.
know you're tall, but like you're
It
not
was
Andre the Giant. Hold a driver like a
I don't
putter
know. Maybe they
tall.
have slightly different top golf. I don't know, but that's what I was using, and it was because I could not if I like swung it like this, I would miss it every time. So we were just
So you're
mini
just
golf hitting it. really
That's
hard.
it.
Yeah.
That's all
Yep.
we.
Yep. And it worked.
Oh, shit.
If I
All
tried to
right.
hit it like
I
how you
need
normally hit
I
a golf
need
ball,
you
I would
and
have been in the net.
Sherry. I need you and Sherry at Top Golf with me at the same time. That's all I'm saying. We'll be the talk of the whole bay between the two of you. That's how she swings too. But it's not as easy with the big old driver, so she has to scale down a couple clubs.
It worked. I
Hey,
won. All I'm saying is I won. It's a
hey,
winning
a
strategy.
dub's a dub, right?
3-0.
3-0. Oh, the indignity of everyone else. You're out there granny driving it. they're taking these big old hacks and losing. Oh, good for you.
They probably
Just,
had more fun. I was trying to win. They were having fun. I was trying to win out there.
well, winning's fun. We've said that in time or two on this podcast. Well, good for you, Carter. Way to play to the rules and get the dub. You know what?
Exactly.
It's not always about hitting it the furthest. It's about just being consistent. So, well, right on. So then you did eventually get some racing at Mojave, I assume.
Yep, we got to Arizona Tuesday. Aiden picked us up. Aiden's he does photos and stuff down there. He'll come up to like the Midwest too. But yeah, he lives in Vegas now. He was from Wyoming, but he moved to Vegas recently. But he picked us up, me and Austin, and then it was like 2 hours to our Airbnb, and we got there. And then Tuesday, what did we do Tuesday? Oh, we stopped at the track just to like check it out. And then Wednesday was practice night, and we streamed that a little bit on Facebook for like an hour just to like kind of make sure everything was working. And it was, thank goodness. And then Thursday they started racing finally, and that was like qualifying night. I'm pretty sure they ran the same format as the OG Duel, like how it's been, or at least when IMCA had it. And and so it was like qualifying night Thursday, and they locked in the top six from the feature. And then Friday was the same thing, and they did this for all the classes except for the stock cars. They changed because they had like 22 of them because they don't run stock cars there, so like they didn't even have a local group to really draw from. And they had like 22. So instead of locking in six, or they had 21, instead of locking in six and having a 15 car field the next day, they just said you guys can race twice. And if you locked in, you could lock in the first day, but you could race again the next day, and you just get like winners, or you just get wherever you finish pay. But like you wouldn't lock in. So if like Cole, for example, Cole Sharneski won the first day, and then he won the second. But since he won, second place was like the first lock in because he wasn't locked in. So that's how they kind of did that. Um, and then Friday was the same thing. But then Saturday it rained out. It rained in the freaking desert. I couldn't believe it. It rained in the desert. Real like it was pouring. We had to take stuff down in it. It was terrible.
Ugh.
And they didn't change the format or anything for it. So it was kind of. I thought they were going to run Sunday maybe, but they didn't do that. I think because a lot of guys traveled like from so far. I don't know if that played a factor or what. I don't even know how it would have worked with us, honestly, because we were all flying out, so we would have to just move some flights around, I guess. But
Yeah. Huh. That is a bummer. I mean, how was the racing? I mean, you got two nights.
the first day the track was kind of iffy, but the second day was really good. I thought it was. I was actually excited for the last day because they had like a pretty good cushion up there, and the mods there were really good around there, and the stock cars were good actually both days. Because they can kind of even if it wasn't really. I guess I didn't really rubber Thursday. It might have done like one corner, but it just wasn't. There wasn't much up top. But the stock cars can kind of like roll the middle and stuff and make it work. So the stock cars were pretty good both days. But yeah, the mods were really good Friday night. It was Hibden and who was he battling with? No,
Sorry.
yeah, Broxma won the first day.
Rockman won the day.
I can't remember who Hibden got by, but it was a really good race with him and somebody. I can't remember who now, but he ended up winning Friday night.
Yeah, I saw that. So, well, it was. I was kind of excited to at least MRP follow along to see who won because they did get a solid field of cars. I don't
Yeah,
want to say
they had more mods than I thought they were going to get, especially with the way the weather looked. Like it looked bad, so like I thought for sure guys were going to stay home, but they got like 64 mods there. So I
Dang.
was pleased with 64. Yeah,
Yeah, that's pretty solid, especially for the first year they had it, right? Because it's been at
exactly.
Vegas years past, so
And a lot of
they're trying
guys
to
would
throw
go
it
to
in.
Vegas because it's Vegas. Like, so most of these guys were here just to race. Like, some guys would like, yeah, we're gonna
Yeah.
go race in Vegas, but like, that's not really why we're here.
Yeah. How far from Vegas was it?
Like 2 hours
Okay,
south.
so yeah. I
So,
mean, if you're a party hard all night kind of guy, you could
or if you
maybe.
were confident you were gonna lock in the first day, you could have went up to
Yeah,
Vegas for a day. But
yeah,
I mean, there was some casinos in Mojave, but not like Vegas.
yeah. Vegas is a different vibe. So, well, if they have it next year, you think you'll end up out there again?
I hope so. So I don't
Yeah.
think I messed up anything there.
That's always a big win, right? When get out there without any blunders. No one has to tell you your camera sucks on screen, so you change it or anything like that. That's always a big win. So, right on. Well, I didn't have nearly as much to fill in or as much adventures, but actually, before I do that, real quick, anything else that we didn't touch on you want to add? Did you try any good food? Do they have any interesting food out there?
We ate a lot of like fast food the whole time. We ate at some nacho place in Vegas that was pretty good, but it's just everything was so expensive. We were just like, screw it, we'll go to Chick-fil-A instead or something like that because it was just cheaper. There was a donut
Yeah.
place called Pink Box Donuts, and I think it's like an out there kind of thing. Like I saw a good amount in Vegas. Those were really good. We got like, how many? We got 12 of them. And they had like a bunch of different ones, like more like not just like glazed and all this. There's like too many options. Like when I was picking, I was like overwhelmed, and I was like, whatever, just give me that one. I don't even know if I'll like it.
Ah,
Throw it on there. So th that was actually that was the best stuff I think I ate down there.
right on, right on. Track it, everything interesting or?
The only day out at the track was Friday, I think, and I got a burger. And there was, or no, it was Thursday, and they were like almost out of food for some reason. They were restocked on Friday, so I guess they just didn't feel like making more at that point or something.
We're a little surprised. Right on. Well, all right. Well, I was curious if I was half hoping something like a green chili burrito or something would have
I
popped
wish
up,
they had
but
that, but they didn't. If they had that on the menu, I would have got it, but it was not there.
well, fair enough. Well, so as for me, the big highlight that I've been following along on the show for the last couple of weeks is the Spring Lake Park Panthers, one one member of whom is my son, is playing in the we call it the Prep Bowl here. It's like the state tournament, but we call it the Prep Bowl. But anyway, they had their semifinal game last Friday at 2 p.m. and they ended up getting the dub. I'm pretty sure it was 39-23. I could be misquoting that, but they put a whooping on. Let's put it that way. They won by more than two scores, and they kind of put a whooping on, and it was a heck of a game, man. They're playing in the bank, so the atmosphere is kind of lit. The team we were playing was a private school, St. Thomas Academy, so they're like a private school. They turned out fairly good, and they were on the home side. We showed out like a public school. I'll just tell you that. Our sideline was we were pretty packed in there for US Bank Stadium. It was way more full from the 20 to the 20 than I expected we'd be able to get. So it was a vibe for sure, man. And my dad came out with us and everything. It's really cool. So they won. Obviously, around here, around town, the vibes are up, and that's going to be what I'm doing this upcoming weekend. So I guess I'll jump to it. But so yeah, they play this. They play this Saturday at 4 p.m. in the bank for a state championship. That's
Is that
pretty.
they only have one game in there so far,
They had the semifinal game, which was this past
and then
Friday,
this
and then
upcoming one? Okay.
yep, they just
So
have
at least they
the
won in there because the Vikings can't win in there. Well, at least not this
right.
past weekend. Actually, have they won? They had one win at home. He's got as many wins in the Viking Stadium as the Vikings do.
Well, we're hoping to have more after Saturday. I'm going to tell you that right now. We are very much hoping and planning to have one more after Saturday. So I'm really pumped. That's going to be awesome, man. And I hope we show it as good or better. They literally canceled high school on Friday. So kids could go to the game, and then the middle school chartered like something like 170 some odd kids down to the
Oh
down to the
wow.
bank. Yeah, like I'm telling you, man, it's like a big deal. So it's really cool. we're a fairly small community in a sea of huge communities around where I live. Like Spring Lake Park is pretty small compared to like Blaine or Anoka or Coon Rapids or Centennial or any of the other areas. If you're from my area, all that makes sense to you, Carter. You that doesn't that might as well be saying foreign languages. But like we're really small compared to all those folks around us. And for so for us to show out like that and just kind of like be having some success, it's pretty cool. Like my kids are this is the last thing I'll say. I went to Blaine. I technically where I live, my kids should go to Blaine, but they've always gone to Spring Lake Park, so I let them drive to Spring Lake Park. But in a sea of Blaine people, I'm the only one who still has their "my kid plays for Spring Lake Park" sign up because I'm the only one in the neighborhood who's got a football kid still playing football. So I feel like a little bit of a troll. All those Blaine folks got to drive right by and see that we're still going. So anyway. That I did 2 segments in one, Carter, so we can probably skip what I'm doing this coming weekend.
Yeah, I'm not
But
doing anything. So if we want to skip
yeah,
that completely, I got nothing going on this
we'll
weekend.
just zoom past that. Look at that, we're saving time on the back end. But anyway, interestingly enough, between me going to a football game and you traveling, gallivanting all across the country, we both still managed to watch some racing. So I'll start from the top. I watched both nights of Flow. That if I don't think I've done that in a month or two, just like 2 nights of any racing, really. But so I watched the Flow. It was interesting going in. I talked about the points on last episode. I may have not totally understood them, but I got the gist of it right, which was it was going to come down to probably JD and Bobby Pierce, and it sure as heck did. JD won both nights, and Bobby Pierce, I think, finished in like top 7 on Friday going in. So anyway, it led to a halfway interesting points battle within a race on Saturday. JD kind of kicked everyone's tail on Saturday, but Pierce needed to finish 7th or better to win, and he managed to finish 6th. And at one point, he got sent to the tail, and he got in that
Yeah, so
whole
the
incident with
only
Overton.
thing I saw from there was JD won twice and the Overton piercing. That's all I've seen from there. So when you said he finished 7th, I was surprised because I thought he was, I don't
Yeah,
know. I knew he was in the pits or something because that's where the fight
yeah,
took place. So I don't know what happened.
yeah. That was wild. That was one of the more wilder pit interactions. I mean, he chucked the helmet at him on the track and then went into the pits and like gave him a talking to, looked like he smacked him upside the head. And then pit guy drama too. But yeah, so he did. He came out of the tail of the field. The problem, well, I shouldn't say the problem was, but the thing about it was at that juncture in the race, there's only 15 cars.
Oh, so you didn't have to pass it too many. How many, was
Didn't
there
have
a
to
lot of
pass too many.
laps left too?
Uh, I can't remember. There's a fair bit. There's enough that moving forward wasn't that hard, and also some of those guys were multiple laps down by
Oh,
that point. They just weren't very fast. Some of them guys were just taking the Benji strat and just getting to the finish line. So yeah, so he didn't have to work hard to get up front. So it was kind of anticlimactic at that point, but all of the drama otherwise was pretty cool. But he pretty promptly drove to like 6th, and they wrote out the last 10 laps with him having clinched it. But on Friday was interesting. JD like nearly got sent to the back. He like they called it spin
oh,
to
I did see
avoid.
that. I did see that
Yeah.
because he didn't, because most of the times nowadays, like they just send you to the back if you're stopped, ain't it?
Yeah, well, especially if you make contact with the caution car, right? Like if you
Yeah.
plow into the caution car, you usually go back. Well, I don't know. He didn't plow into him, but it did kind of look like he bumped him when I watched it. I was curious what the hell was happening. And then all of a sudden he was at the front, and I was like, they're gonna. So that was a little bit of drama. Sort of called it spin to avoid. Maybe you should have been sent to the back. But then Bobby kind of, I don't know, like Dukes a hazard at it almost. Did you see this one where he he got into an incident with Bronson, spun it, but then to keep it moving, he threw it into reverse,
Oh,
started
I didn't see that.
hauling down the front straightaway in reverse, whips it around, throws it in a drive, and keeps going. And then they rule it that like his wheels never stop, so he got to keep his spot, and they called the caution on Bronson, I guess. So, but yeah, he literally threw it in reverse.
The only thing that's even like that is like the summer nationals have a thing where if you stop, you get sent to the back, but if you keep your wheels going, you like blend in to where you like
Yep.
were when the because I remember there was a thing with Turbo at Fairbury where like they had to like they couldn't tell if his wheels were moving or not. It was like he was like barely moving, but they're like, oh yep, he blends in. Like he moved just enough to blend, and there was like a whole thing about it. But yeah, usually it's still like, but he didn't get to go back to where he was originally. It was just like five guys got past you, so now you're eighth instead of wherever you were. Like so, yeah,
Yeah.
that's kind of
Well,
weird that they keep their spot completely.
I think the gray area with this was that Bronson and he got into it together, and Bronson did clearly cause a caution. So then they're saying essentially Bronson's the caution, Pierce keeps his spot because he didn't stop.
Gotcha.
And versus like I think where you're talking about is like you're the cause of the caution and you blend in, but that's not exactly true because I think sometimes if you're just involved in the incident, you blend.
Yeah,
So
because I think
I
the turbo
each
one, he was
series,
just involved. He wasn't like the cause of it. He was just like they
yeah,
wrecked in front of him and he was there.
no. So I think each series probably has similar but maybe slightly different. I will say that all the all the things I've seen about this after the fact have just kind of been like the rules weren't really applied in a bunch of different situations the way they should. It's kind of been the takeaway. Like JD probably should have gone to the back. Pierce might should have gone to the back because I thought it would if it's a two-car incident and you're both kind of the cause for the caution. So at best you blend in. At best. At worst, you get sent to the back. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like so I don't know how he kept a spot. Yeah. and then I also don't know how the hell that things got so crazy in the pits. That was I mean at one point they had like a I don't know if it was a drone shot or something, but they had a picture of it and it was like 3 deep around his whole car while they're like trying to replace the tire. And one of the announcers is even like, that's more people, or I think it was Earl Hoon Jr., who I will stand for. I like Earl Hoon Jr., but he even was like, quite frankly, there's way too many people around this car that need to be around this car. And I was like, I agree with you, Earl, because it was just a sea of people while they're changing a tire in the pits. I'm like, are they going to let him out? Are they like protesting and leaving?
Don't let him leave.
Yeah. Anyway, so that was kind of interesting. And then that's what I watched this weekend. What did you get a chance to catch?
The only thing I watched was the late model feature of the Turkey Bowl. That was all of my like racing from streaming. I
Yeah.
turned that on and I don't even remember the guy you won. It's someone I haven't heard of.
Boyer Krigler.
That's what it is. He won, but I thought Miles Moose was gonna get him because he was like ripping the top and he got up to second and he was closing with like 2, 3 laps left. And then he got a little too high and I was like, all right, well, there's the end of that. And I watched the last 2 laps and turned it off. Yeah, that's all I can really remember was like, oh, he might like this might be a really good finish, and then he got a little too high, and that was pretty much it.
Well, I mean, if he biffs the corner with or biffs the lip with 2 to go, it's still kind of a good race, isn't it? Right?
Yeah,
Because you had all
but like he
that.
wasn't
Yeah.
there just yet. Like he was about to
Yeah.
be there, so like it wasn't even like they were battling yet.
Anticipation was building.
Yeah.
Yeah. I hear that. I hear that. But at least he gave it a spirited charge. I thought I saw just randomly it popped into my head. I thought I saw on social media. I think that car had been parked for quite a while too, and just kind of
Oh
like
yeah,
pulled
I
it
heard
out.
about that too. Yeah,
Yeah,
they had it parked. I don't know when they last ran it. It was like early, wasn't it early this year? I think they last ran it.
early this year, like
Yeah.
March or May or something. Yeah, yeah. So to whip it out and go run towards the front. I think he ended up finishing 4th or 5th. So
Yeah,
it's
he
not
didn't
like it.
fall that far back. He
Yeah,
just fell out of a chance to win it.
fell out of the contention. Yeah, right on. Well, I'll probably long story short, I was doing some random research for a potential segment for today, and I saw that Sawyer Krigler, he's actually won quite a bit.
Oh wow.
Down in I think he was running like 4 state late models, and I think he may have run with some of the other Oklahoma, like Missouri, Kansas regional
Region.
series that are down there. Yeah, I think there's a couple smaller ones down there, but I think he's picked up a couple wins. Anyway, so when I saw he won, given some of the names that were there and the fact that they had 70 super late models, I was a little shocked to see his name up there, but he's definitely won some races this year for sure. And so that's a big win for him.
And they had just over 400 cars in general the whole weekend.
Was it I thought I had 366, but
So
maybe
that
there
was,
was a
but on Thursday they ran four
Oh, good
cylinders. So if you
call. Yep.
factor those in and like the pure stocks and stuff, so yeah, they were over 400.
Oh, good call. Heck yeah. That's awesome.
Yeah, because
That's
that's where I was
awesome.
supposed to be
That
until I
was.
heard about Arizona and Vegas. So I will say
Yeah.
I was when Arizona rained out. I was like, dang. I was like, I wonder if I can make it to Springfield in time. It was like 20 hours or something like that. It was not going to
Yeah,
happen.
so no shot.
Yeah.
No shot, unfortunately. Right on. Well, I did follow along. The mods also was of interest to me. So they managed to get 76 modifieds, which is a pretty beefy amount. I mean, Texas was 70, and then I don't know that we can remember many other shows this year that have had, 70. So that's a lot, is basically what I wanted to say. And Jim Chisholm ended up winning. Both the late models and the mods were 6,000. So Jim Chisholm won the mods and won 6,000. Sorry, Krugler won 6,000 in the late models. But the takeaway I had from just MRP, but it was a very strong showing for USRA/USMTS. I don't recall in years past that many guys from that sanction showing up, but there was a lot of
I
them.
mean, that's
And
kind of the sanction there, is it not?
I always felt like there was more UMP guys there. Like Strickler won, or not Strickler, but similar looking cars. So when I pull the name,
Steffens.
yeah, there you go. Yep. But Steffens is one there a time or two and stuff. So I don't know. I guess I just sort of associate it with that. But you're not wrong in that
So like,
Missouri area.
I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
I thought they
Go ahead.
ran USRA mods or like those type. I don't know if they're
I
sanctioned,
mean,
but those type of
USMTS has
mods.
never been there, so I shouldn't say never, but they haven't in the recent few years. So I feel like if they did, they would definitely go
Or I
there.
guess they run. They're like they run like Power Eye stuff there or something. But I'm
Alright,
pretty
so
sure it's like. I mean that
could be.
Missouri region. I don't. Yeah, I think they're kind of. I think they're further west. They're not like eastern Missouri where there's some UMP over there.
I've always associated this one with UMP. I'm not gonna lie. I've always just felt like it's been more of a UMP mod show. Not to discount that some USRA guys don't go there, but like there was Jim Chisholm, Reese Solander, Rodney Sanders. There's just a lot of those. Gary Christian, just a lot of those guys, and a lot of those guys up top too. So I can't speak to every one of those particular guys' results. But anyway, I thought it was interesting. I also thought it was interesting. Last year, I don't know if the weather was quite as good, but there felt like there was a lot more guys from like Iowa, Wisconsin, Minnesota down there this year too. Just like looking
It
at
was
entries.
yeah, it was 75 and sunny, so that might have helped.
That
And it was
definitely didn't hurt.
snowing by me or in Wisconsin, not in Arizona.
Yeah, definitely didn't hurt either. But anyway, I dig this show. Obviously, it's on our radar. You were trying to be there. So this remains one that I think definitely on my list after this past year. 400 plus cars, and just a who's who of modified drivers and a very solid late model field. It was pretty neat. But anyway, that's kind of all the racing that there was this weekend that we followed along. But there was some interesting news here and there, so I think maybe we'll dust off the old odds and ends segment this time around. And I'll hit you with some stuff. Maybe you can hit me with some stuff you might have seen. But I want to start with, actually, I think the most important news to me is that James Trentina has a Monster Patrol wrap, and I'm pumped about this. When Ebert had the USA 1 wrap, I had mentioned that if anyone wanted to do further monster truck wraps, this was the one. Now I have no basis to take any credit for it, but I'm going to baselessly take credit that this came together. Because it's awesome. You saw it, right?
Yeah, I saw it.
What'd you think? Honest
I did
reaction. What
not
do you
like
think?
it. And John,
You
who
would.
who watches can attest. That was like the first thing I said. I'm like, I'm not a huge fan of the rap.
Ah, you would. I knew that just no. I knew that because I was excited you were gonna poo-poo it. But I think it is perfectly done. The only thing it's missing is the big sprint car wing on it. And I don't think there's like really that many body rules at the dome, so I'm not. Maybe that's to be revealed later.
Well, at least at the dome, it's like okay to drive like a monster truck there. So
True.
if he wants to do it,
He's
he
in the
could do it.
mood. Yeah. Yeah, he's been getting pretty spry behind the wheel of that late model recently too. James has been getting to be quite the wheelman behind the wheel of a race car. Period. Lately, I will say that. I mean, he's on the wall, and he earned it through performance. That's what I'm going to say. He earned it through performance. So, and look at the collection of guys up there. So just one to watch for, especially in a Monster Patrol car. Come on, man. Come on. I already reached out and was like, I'm a buyer of any and all merch. So keep me in mind. But anyway. um then also I want to circle back to something we had mentioned a while back. But so the World of Outlaws was doing this Coltman Farms Cup thing, which is sort of like a championship within a championship.
Yeah, like a
Yeah.
mini series.
Yeah. And I had made a comment at the time that it was just a way to put more money in Bobby Pierce's pocket because it just felt like the champ of the series would probably be the champ of this mini series. Well, I guess I got to eat shit because Nick Hoffman won the thing. So my apologies, Nick Hoffman. But yeah, I remember that like Deer Creek was on there. I think Talladega.
Yep,
I
they were
think
on
the
there.
dirt track at Charlotte. So definitely some races that favored Hoffman a little bit. But I don't think it was intentional. It just happened to be where some of their bigger 2-day events were. But I was wrong, Carter. I was wrong.
To be fair, your bet seemed like a pretty safe bet. I would have thought for sure Pierce would have just been, I mean, he was the top guy there, so you think he'd win that while he was at it.
Yeah. Yeah. So, there's one other piece of news that I wanted to jump on, but I was curious, did you see any headlines or anything while you were out and about that you thought was interesting? Anything I'm
Well,
missing?
depends what your news is. Is your news the MLRA thing or
That's the one I'll save, but we could probably just go ahead and jump into that. But anyway, so you mentioned it, but we used to at one point have like a bit of a gag to say "rip MLRA" on here, but now I guess it's like "unrip
Yeah,
MLRA"
now they're back?
because they're back. They're back. I thought that was interesting. Just one because I've talked about having fond memories of MLRA jumping on some of those shows up by my way and boosting the car counts through the roof and stuff. So I have fond opinion of MLRA. And Slocum 50 is another event I've enjoyed. So it's cool to see them come back, right? It seems a little bit interesting, given that we talked a couple weeks ago that Heartland Late Model Tour is also sprung up in what we imagine is the same general area.
Yeah, I thought that was the MLRA replacement, but now the thing it was replacing is back, so I don't know how that's going to really work.
It does make you wonder. And so because we both had similar comments in the Discord at the same time, I went and did what I normally do, and that's like nerd out a little bit. So I'm not going to try to belabor the point to everybody, but I thought it was interesting. So what does MLRA sort of reviving plus what we sort of kind of know about Heartland late models, what does that kind of mean for the Missouri Kansas region? And then also when I dug into that, I came up, I was left with a question, and so I'll hit you with that one at the end. But anyway, so as far as like Missouri Kansas goes, MLRA ran they ran like 20 shows there when their last full season. So safe to say that's
Their
probably
area.
their area is definitely Missouri. And then kind of looking at like getting a guess for Heartland late models, I took a look at like the Heartland modified / arms schedules, and they ran something like 14 races in Missouri and 9 races in Kansas. So somewhat evenly split. Now, obviously, they're going to bring tracks online and offline. But
Yeah.
anyway, let's say that that's roughly what their schedule looks like. That's all of a sudden like 40 dates in Missouri that weren't there for super late models last year. That's a lot of dates. And then throw in Kansas too, right? So it doesn't look like, at least in its last iteration, MLRA went to Kansas but once a year. So we could see that, Heartland late models focus maybe a little bit more on the Kansas side of things, given everything, and we see them on the other side. Also kind of looking at that, I noticed there was some other like players in the region. So like Comp Cams was in Missouri a little bit, but their directors, the dude who revived MLRA, their
Oh,
series
so I
director,
can't imagine they'd go there unless they're together. Like,
right?
Yeah,
Yeah,
like
so it
working
seems
together and
like
stuff.
that attempt maybe fizzled out a little bit. Um, and then also kind of looking at it, so that revival, the folks that were in Texas, interestingly enough, they this is mostly scheduled, not necessarily all ran, but they had 13 dates in Kansas as
Yeah,
well
I thought it was like a
this past
Kansas
year.
series, honestly.
Yeah, well, yeah, 13 Kansas, 4 Missouri, 2 Texas.
Okay, yeah, so basically it's a Kansas
Yep.
series.
Yeah. So that general region is going to have a lot going on. Now, as you could imagine, nerding out and pulling down these stats of who ran where and everything, I started to notice some stuff. And like Mars went to Iowa 7 times, and uh, MLRA used to go there a little bit. And then Heartland Modified doesn't seem like they're going to be going there. But then there's like SLMR, who has just tons, right? They have 20 some odd dates. So I'm halfway curious, given all of this, if someone doesn't start to try to venture into Iowa more, whether that be MLRA, maybe goes Kansas, Iowa more as a footprint, kind of like they had, I guess. And then I guess I'm just really like interested in all the possibilities because there's like 3 or 4 regional series in 2 states. And then there's Iowa above them that doesn't have really a super late model series that goes there regularly. So, but then
Iowa
they
still
have
gets they still get a
SLMR,
ton of stuff. I mean, like Lucas goes there too, Outlaws go
right?
there, and then obviously
Right.
Mars and stuff. So
That's what I'm wondering, right? Like, I think we'll touch on this even a little bit more later, but like Lucas started making a little bit more of a venture into Iowa. It feels like Outlaws maybe doing a little bit more of that too. But then like there's still not a super late model series running like regionally consistently there, but they have just a ton of dates. And then you look at Missouri and they've got like 5 touring dates, but 2 but so it just makes you wonder. Anyway, I've kind of nerded out on this and belabored the point, but I just find it interesting that within like 2 months we've had 2 series sort of fill a
form in
void
one spot. Yeah,
in one spot.
I wonder if the Heartland one knew the MLRA one was coming back. I feel like they wouldn't have, or else I don't know. I'm very curious
It makes you wonder, right?
because obviously the
And
MLRA one knew because they were after,
yeah,
but I don't know. Yeah, I'm curious on maybe they work together. I don't know.
they could. I mean, I think there's probably room for that, but then everyone's got streaming contracts, this,
Yeah,
that,
that's
and the
true.
other thing, and that's what complicates it. It's always what complicates it. But um, nonetheless, say if you run super late models in Missouri for sure, you have all of a sudden been
Ton of
just
options.
a ton of options. You're going to be able to race till your heart's content.
Plus
And if you're
like
in the
10 freaking Lucas Oil races at Lucas Oil, which
yeah,
some of those used to be also MLRA shows. So
some of those are. I would. I mean, that's the big question, right? Used to be Lucas Oil MLRA. I'm assuming
yeah,
that everything we've seen so far, Lucas Oil's not involved, and that's probably why it fell apart in the first place. So, um, maybe they don't have the same connection, but I'd like to hope they do because that that created some big car counts and some cool shows. I can leave it there. I just found it interesting. And then I'll just say this: if super late models end up in Iowa, then they have no place to go but further north into here, and then it just gets super wonky. Then you and I are starting to wonder. But anyway, we already did the what are you doing above, so we've got nothing to work with there. We've spilt the beans on what we're doing. So I think there's a few things that we'll both be keeping our eye on, or maybe one of us will be keeping our eye on. I'm not even sure. But the first is we've got this one always trips me up. Emil and Dale Reutimann Memorial at Volusia. I nailed it this time. So we've got 10,000 to win UMP mods. The setup for this is Friday they do qualifying and then they're called Showdown features,
oh
15 lap
yeah,
Showdown
they split
features.
up the field, kind of like they do at Volusia in February or whatever.
Yeah, yep. So I don't know. I assume X amount lock in. I didn't double check it or anything, but And then they have last chance showdowns and a 50 lap 10,000 to win feature. I also found it interesting. 30 cars make the feature. So
I mean, it's a
stated
half
30
mile.
cars. Yeah, it's a gigantic track. But I also liked it as from like a marketing standpoint of like come to our big race because there's more spots for dudes to make the big race. You got a 30 in you got a 30 car field to fill instead of a 24. That's that's what's quick math on that? Like 1/6 more spots or something? I don't know. Anyway, continuing on 1/5, 20% more. There we go. I found it. This one's always worth keeping on. I did write it down and you did see the notes, but that's not guaranteed that you will remember this. Do you know who the last 3 winners of
Last
the
3? No. I
3? Do you know who won
can
last year?
I know and I can't remember because I watched it. It was someone surprising, wasn't it?
No,
Was it Dotson last year?
Strickler.
Strickler won it. Wasn't
Strickler.
didn't someone lead it for a while? There was someone that led it for a while.
Oh, I don't
I
recall
don't know.
that.
I think
I'm
it was
too
pretty
old to
rough
remember
too, if I
that.
remember right last year.
Sounds familiar.
I remember
Some of
watching
this
it. I
sounds
know I
familiar.
watched it.
Yeah. So, but Strickler won last year. The year before was Hoffman, and then the year before that was Dotson. To your point. So, um, so I guess I'm just bringing that up to say there's some killers in this field every year. So I imagine it's
I
worth
think
keeping
Dotson's
an eye on.
going back. I thought I saw that earlier, today
Oh, that'd
actually.
be kind of cool.
I am curious if maybe they might have entries early. Let's see.
I did look. There were
Oh, is there
9 when I
nothing?
looked
Oh,
earlier. They're 2 notable though. Tyler Nicely and then Mitch Thomas were the 2 names that I recognize. That Mitch Thomas usually runs up front at Volusia, so he's kind of worth
he always
keeping an
reminds
eye
me
on.
of Dillard. He's 97. Mitch Thomas.
Yeah, yeah. I thought you were gonna say Boom Briggs because like for the last
Oh, no.
couple of years he's had a white car that reminded me of Boom Briggs's car. Truthfully.
It is
Um,
still 9, by the way.
Still at 9. Oof.
Yep.
I imagine we'll get more, but that's a tough start. No, I'm kidding. It's just free
I know Clay
register.
Harris. I think I saw he broke out his
Oh
mod to get
yes.
ready for
Yeah,
it.
yeah, I did see that too. Yeah, so always interesting. Winger at one point in time made his mod debut here at this event like 2 years ago, I think it was. So you never know who might show up in a mod. So worth keeping an eye on. And then the other thing I'm intrigued by, and I'm not entirely well, I shouldn't say that. I'm just something I'm intrigued by is so Pike County Speedway in Magnolia, Mississippi is reopening. This upcoming weekend they're having the Jambalaya
100.
100.
I've heard of that
Yep.
show.
Yep. And so they've got 3,000 to win on Friday and 7,000 to win super late models on Saturday. And that's kind of interesting. But I used to watch the hell out of the Street Outlaws. Like that used to be a binge watch of mine in like my mid 20s when I had nothing to do on a random cold weekend. I'd watch like 2 or 3 seasons. And so one of the guys that always come in and whoop up on Big Chief and the list was this gentleman by the name of Kai Kelly out of Mississippi. And so he happens to be the one reopening this racetrack. And I find that kind of cool. And so I guess he grew up in the area and this track was a pivotal part of his childhood, and he's stayed involved in motorsports in one way or another. But yeah, he was excited to reopen this, and I guess he's using it as a bit of a content farm too for his YouTube channel as
Kind of
well. I
like
mean,
Cletus McFarlane did
yeah,
in Florida.
yeah, or that gentleman Matt Tift with the
Oh,
Mansfield
yeah.
thing too. Yeah. I mean, if you want to get on a sidetrack, I think that's one way that, if you, especially if there's some track operators that just have one hell of a personality, right? Like if they could find a way to make content, they would be another way to sort of use this massive facility to generate a little bit of income, hopefully, in addition to all the other ways. Anyway, I digress. But yeah, so I guess he turned it into a content farm, and I saw they had Spencer Hughes and Rodney Wing working on the track. So 2 guys that Rodney Wing does. He runs the House of Hook. Why not?
Oh,
He's
yeah. Okay.
responsible for that track. Yeah. So he's pretty solid at putting a track together. And then Spencer Hughes is Spencer Hughes. We all know him, so I imagine he's got some chops doing that stuff too. So looks like they're putting their best foot forward. So
Now we
worth
just gotta
keeping an
see
eye on.
see who shows up. I mean, Tyler Erb sometimes shows up down there, maybe a winger or
Yeah,
something. This depends who's on dome prep already. That's what it
true.
comes down to.
True, and it's pretty far down there in Mississippi. I'm
Yeah.
not gonna lie, it's a trip. So, the entry list will be interesting. And also that goes to someone like Kai Kelly. I assume most of this is just things I've read, right? But like, I assume he's got some connection to dudes in dirt racing just by
I've
the
seen his
nature of.
name showing up lately, like outside of Pike County, I feel like. So like and like other stuff down south, like that he was
Okay.
at or something. So I think he knows some people down there.
Yeah, for sure. Which would bode well for him to being able to draw, people to his own racetrack, and then hopefully maybe, get some travelers and stuff too, because he has a little bit of name recognition. That's kind of all the nature of promoting, right? Is who you know and who you can convince to come hang out with you. And if you're fun and cool, people want to hang out with you more. So I don't know. It'll be interesting. So anyway, that's it, bud. That's everything.
Yeah, we're running out of stuff to talk about in this time of the
It's
year.
getting dry out there, man. It's getting dry out there.
If the dome ever
Um,
goes away, we're gonna have like a month break.
yeah, true. Well, I mean, I suppose we probably did skip over the most explosive thing to talk about if you really wanted to get into it. I mean,
The Barry Braun news.
yeah, the Barry Braun news that released right after I finished filming with Alex. That came out the next day. But yeah, I mean,
There's not much to say. It's
uh,
just, I mean, are you really surprised, I guess?
no, I mean, honestly, to answer that question, I want to shake my head. No, yeah, I actually am
I
a
guess,
little
yeah, I'm not
surprised
yeah, it is surprising that actually something happened, but like at the
that
same
something
time,
actually happened. Yeah.
it's like, oh, he's in jail. Yeah, I mean, surprising that it happened, but not surprising that he's in jail. I don't know if that makes sense.
Right before that, yeah, not surprised that it caught up to him. Yeah, I mean, I've never, maybe I've said it on the podcast, maybe I haven't. Like, I technically consider Barry Braun owes me some money. It's like $50, but he did reach out and ask me to do some work for him and offer to pay me, and then I did the work, and he did not pay me. And I've had a, I've had a sour taste in my mouth ever since then, and it's been hard on here to sometimes talk about his shows and stuff because there's racers that are going there that I think are worth mentioning. It's at venues that I want to build up and talk about. But like underpinning it all is has been a frustration of like the snake oil salesman, in my opinion, from my own experience, the snake oil salesman running it all has put a damper on it. It's hard to be excited when you just sort of have an opinion and have an experience with someone and think they're kind of a Slytherin. So, you that's my take on it. Uh, I guess I'm not like out to get a guy over $50, but like I'm not shocked that like I read more into it. You know what it all stems from is that he had some work done. I think it was on the fence or the surface. I can't recall, but he had some work done. I believe it was the fence, and he like paid part of it, and then it was time to pay on the rest, and he never just paid. And then they made, this is based off an article I read, but as I understood the article I read, essentially they determined that he had money to pay and just didn't. And they said there's a history of doing that. He got loans coming in, had money to pay contractors and didn't. And they were owed and due. And so they said there's a history of that kind of practices out there. And so they decided, I mean, they arrested him in Minnesota and had him extradited to
Yeah,
West
West
Virginia.
Virginia.
Like, you're going through a lot of effort, right? So, but anyway, yeah. I guess it sucks for all the dudes who still don't have money. Like Kyle
Yeah,
Strickler said he
because
did
now
get
they're
paid.
probably never gonna get it.
They're never gonna see it. Although, I mean, were they like
That's true. Well, he probably would have
uh,
seen it. Well, I guess the Crown Vic thing got canceled because say that would have been
yeah,
his next chance to get to see it.
right? Yeah. So, that sucks. That part sucks. It does suck that like the one person that was pushing big mod races was doing it in this manner, and now I feel like that's gonna hurt big money mod racing for a minute. I think that's
Yeah,
the natural consequence. Well, we may see 100,000 show next year. We may not. I wouldn't be shocked if we didn't. I mean, because now, like the whole thing kind of has a bit of a sour taste because the guy who's pushing it. So that sucks too. I think it's just a lot of things that suck about it. for a lot of different people. But at the end of the day, I think if you know there's a cancer, like you got to get the cancer out, right? Like that's how it
Yeah.
works. So I would rather I'd rather stem the damages where we're at now. And easy for me to say it's not my wallet, but I think a lot of these people are going to get shit on one way or the other, you know. So might as well do it now and not have anyone further down the line get screwed, you know, like because that was the only way that these guys would get unscrewed is if we screwed someone down the road. There's a name for that, you know. There's a whole scheme and stuff for that, but like, so eventually someone was going to have to pay the piper. So I'm not happy it's this group of guys that had to do it, but it was going to happen to someone. I'm glad we didn't perpetuate this cycle and allow it to get bigger and worse. So it sucks on some fronts. I think you know this all going to play out. This is all allegations, right? This is all things that I've personally read in papers and stuff, but it's still all just allegations. It'll play out, but it's at least on that front, it's not super surprising that that so obviously out front behavior caught up with him, you know.
I mean, like everybody knew it was going on at this, but like there's so many like every couple months there's like a thing about him going on. Like yeah, so
Yeah,
surprised it didn't catch up earlier, honestly.
truthfully, truthfully, I guess sooner rather than later. You know, it sucks for I don't know what that means for Hibbing up there and those folks. Hopefully that there's something that doesn't affect them running next year as well too. But you know, there's trickle down effects to all of this. It's not like woohoo, and then there's a lot of impacts that come from it. But better we deal with them now than they grow bigger and worse later. Because you know we've seen it for enough years in a row, man. Anyway, we can leave it there, Carter. With that, then, I think that is absolutely everything we intended to cover. And that means it's time for
The one for the road, and mine is it's old now, old news, but the World of All the Late Models released their schedule was it last week?
last week. Yep,
Yeah,
last Tuesday
and
or Wednesday. Yeah.
it's a little bit different. There's just like a few shows that like there was a few things they changed up that I don't really hate. Like I'm fine with it. But like they don't try to run in the Midwest in March, which I don't know if I think they kind of just took off if I remember right. But like now they're going to like East Alabama and Sonoya. Magnolia, oh, the Magnolia show I'm a fan of because that track looks cool. But then they have like a few just interesting tracks on here, like Little River Speedway in Modic. I think it's Modic, South Carolina, which I've heard of the track, and I think it closed for a few years, and I don't know when it reopened. I think this year maybe. That do you remember the Extreme like late model series like from like 4 years
Dude.
ago? Yeah, I know
Yep.
they went there like in the winter time. Yeah,
Okay.
I know they went there. They picked up like Southern Iowa Speedway, Adams County, Shelby County was interesting because I don't know because Lucas goes there, but I
Yeah.
imagine Lucas is still going to go there. I don't remember if
I
that's
would
been announced or
imagine.
not. I don't know.
Yeah.
But Southern Iowa, I think that's going to be a snoozer. It's just a big half mile, but
Big flat half mile. I mean, the
yeah,
flat wide theory, I don't know how wide it is, but I don't. So on that one, I'll say real quickly. I did find it interesting because last year around the Knoxville Nationals, for Lucas, everyone was saying this track used to race so awesome, like it used to be a really good late model track, and they attributed a bunch of different things to it. But I don't know. When I saw that Southern Illinois was on it, I was like,
Southern Iowa.
is this, or Southern Iowa? I'm sorry. Yeah, Southern Iowa. Is this the attempt of like finding the Iowa replacement for
Replacement.
Knoxville for late models, not for everything, mind you, but for late models? I don't know. I found that interesting.
I just
That
think the
was
reason that Knoxville isn't race as good is because aero, like an
yeah.
air and stuff, and I don't think the air is
It
going to
may or may not
change.
make a difference
I don't think it's
there,
going to
right?
change, and
Like,
now we're down the road, but we'll find
well, it
out.
depends. I don't know if does it have the walls on the outside like Knoxville, or is it? I
Can't
mean,
even
that may
remember.
or may not have
I've watched
what
stuff from
affect it.
there. That's where they have the front row challenge during the sprint car in Knoxville Nationals. I
I don't
can't
know.
remember how it even looks.
I
I
was
just
just
know it's
throwing it
big.
out there as but it could legitimately make a difference, right? Or it may not make a damn bit of difference, and I could be talking out of my ass. What do I know? But I just feel like a big metal fence around has to affect arrows somehow too.
I feel like I'm pretty sure there's a fence around that place.
I think you're right. But anyway, So maybe it doesn't change then.
Yeah.
Anyway, so I don't know. Was there anything else you found interesting about it? You had already mentioned the 141
Yeah, there was a
race.
few that are interesting, but we talked about them, like the Hendry County one, 141,
Yeah.
Mansfield. But yeah, there's not a ton of other stuff, but yeah, I'm pretty sure if it's like last year, the World of Outlaws sprint car schedule should come out this week, or the midgets, one of the extreme midgets, because they do it like each week. That's how they did it last
Okay.
year.
Okay. Well,
Um,
you are missing the one show on that schedule I'm probably the most for sure to be at.
Ogilvy?
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
They
is
got
that
back on
new?
the
Yeah,
schedule.
that's
Yeah,
right.
that's new. Yeah. Yeah. So they had the sprint cars 2 or 3 years in a row now. I can't remember exactly for sure, but they have had the late models before, so it's not the first time
It's on
they'll
a
be there.
Monday
But
night.
it's on a Monday night. I know. Thankfully, not during football season.
I know. Gonna have to
Yeah.
postpone the podcast.
We've done it for less. So, I knew you. I would have been planning that one for a week. But anyway, yeah, I thought that was kind of cool. Um, so I'll be there. But anyway, it did look like a solid schedule. To the point I think I was trying to get around to earlier in the episode, though, is they did just pick up a. I don't know if it's a bunch more Iowa dates, but it feels like a couple more Iowa dates than
It's
normal.
like just three. Uh,
Is
it's
it just the three?
yeah,
Oh,
because
is the
they
Hawkeye
already.
thing on there anymore, or
Yeah,
is
that's
that
the week before.
okay?
So they're in Macoka. All of August they're in Iowa, which is only really 2 weeks. But I think do they go there? I don't think they go there anymore. Doesn't look like it. Oh, and
No.
Independence in April, just kind of hanging
Oh.
out there by itself.
Are you going to that one? You've been trying to make it to that show.
It might be on a weekday. I think it is. I think it's Thursday. Let's see. It's on a
Oh,
Thursday. It's not.
that's an easy round trip to
It's not
fly.
ruled out.
Yeah, yeah, interesting. All right. Well, I think that means it's my turn. So I'm realizing now that a little bit of the theme of this episode is I've thrown
Oh, it's on a
some
Tuesday.
guesses.
Sorry.
Even better. I've thrown out some guesses and they've been wrong, and I've had to account for those. And this is my one for the road is kind of one like that. But I'll start with the positive news first. So I found it interesting. So Cade Dillard Race Cars and Mikey Collio Motorsports announced the CDR factory team, and they've announced that Talon Willis is going to be the driver. So I don't know if you're familiar with him, but he's
I've heard
a
the name.
16-year-old. Yeah, 16-year-old out of Louisiana. I think his dad used to race modifieds and some other things too. So, kind of in the family thing that he's sticking with the family business, if you will. But so he's going to be running the CDR factory team modified. And I thought that was interesting because I had ventured to guess not, but maybe a week or two ago that maybe Stormy Scott would be in a CDR like house car. And so I guess my tinklings were correct that might become a thing for them. I guess I just had the wrong driver, but this one makes sense too. He's been running a CDR car for most of this season, I want to say. And he's been a kind of a driver on the up and coming, so not terribly surprising. But I thought that was kind of cool, just to see that. And the last house car modified driver I can recall was like Ethan Dotson in the Longhorn
Oh
factory car.
yeah. Yeah, he was in there.
And
I mean, there's probably some other house cars ones. They're just not like that big
yeah,
of a
well,
name.
I mean, I think Caden's car was
Yeah,
some
he's
version
kind
of
of
the
the house
MB
car.
house car there. Um, but yeah, I mean, a lot of the guys' house cars is just the dudes that built them, right? Like
Pretty much.
Tanner Mullins is and stuff. But for these bigger manufacturers. So anyway, it's interesting to see how things from the late models are trickling into the mods a little bit more and more. And this was one of those things. So
I'm trying
I
to
thought it
think
was
of. I was trying to think of other house cars. I can't really think of anything.
I can't either. The sort of the main ones. I don't think there's maybe is it Tyler Leach is in the Longhorn factory modified? Maybe not. I don't
Yeah, I
even
don't
know if
even
they
know.
have one out there. But they don't have one that I can recall. I mean, Sorensen, I guess he's manufacturing all of them now, so I guess his is See how this gets complicated? But anyway, so I found it interesting. I do like also, so they mentioned some of their schedules. So they're going to be at the Wild West Shootout, and then they're also going to do select Heartland Modified and arms races, and then probably some USMTS stuff here and there as well when it makes sense for the team. So, to a point I've made a time or two before, these USRA regional mod tours, giving guys an opportunity to dip a toe and run some regional stuff before they go further and further and further. It's kind of paying dividends. I mean, they're structuring this at least somewhat around the availability of those races. So it's bearing fruit, I would say. So something we've kept, storyline I've kept along throughout the show. But anyway, other than that, I think that's all we got, bud.
Yeah, I don't got anything else going on. So
Yeah. You know what we didn't do at the top of the show? We didn't ask for them to like and or subscribe, so we should do that now. If you're still here, go ahead and hit that down there. Otherwise, next week, same place, same channel, same time.
same. It might be a different time when we record,
Might be a different time when we record.
but it'll be posted at the same
As
time.
far as the listeners are concerned, same bad time. So, all right, everyone. Thanks for hanging out. Appreciate it. See you next week.
See ya.